Morning, everybody. I mean, evening, everybody, not morning. Some people may be morning, but not here.
It depends. Hello, everyone. We're really happy and excited to have you all among us. So you can write your names and share your emails and contacts on the chat.
I've switched our slideshow off so that we can see everybody as you join. Please do pop your videos on so we can see you and wave hello, greet everybody. It's wonderful to have a session with all of these amazing people again. Mr. Beast, nice to see you. Hi, Murad. Hi, Karima.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Raphael. Hello. Thanks for waiting for so long in the waiting room, Raphael. We appreciate that.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, Abdelaziz and everyone from Morocco.
Hi, Karima. Hi, Bidi. How are you? Hi, Patrick. Hi, Tinos.
Hi.
John, Joyce, Silvana, Kazibwe, Lucy, Mohammed, Aileen,
Patricia and Elizabeth, it's so nice
Raphael,
to have you with us also.
Wilfred, Atieno. We're so happy to have all of you here. It seems we have an exciting story to be told and to be shared with all of you today from Uganda. So we're so excited to have this team with us. A team of young Ugandan entrepreneurs and educators and trainers who are all here, and they've been working for some time now, quite some time, to share their stories with you. So we'll be really happy to have all of you.
Absolutely. So we've finished our little musical intro, which was a beautiful piece from Anne Nasanga in Uganda, and Anne is an amazing person. Andrew can tell us a little bit more about her just now. We're hoping to have her join us also to intro one of our future sessions live. Unfortunately, today she wasn't able to do so. But really hoping that she can in the future. So Andrew, would you like to just tell us a little bit about Anne, whose music we were listening to at the beginning and who we'll listen to a little bit at the end again?
Thank you so much, Robin, and welcome you all to this very great session, the fifth dialogue session since the Africa Voice Dialogue was inaugurated. It is really a great day because even today's topic is really resonating with us so much on what we do. And as Robin has said, we are supposed to be having Anne Nasanga, who is an ambassador of girl and women education. She's a champion of girl and women education in Africa. We had invited her to join us today, but she could not join us today because she's attending a family function. She's so dear to us. And I'm very happy that we have even gone to an extent of listening our song, an opening song which Robin played. But hopefully next time she'll play live. Today we just listened to her music, but in our upcoming sessions she'll be playing live. Back to you, Robin.
Fantastic, thank you. So I have made Aileen and Aziz, the two of you are co-hosts, so maybe between all three of us, we can just keep an eye on the waiting room to see who else comes in. And we would really now love to welcome you to our 5th Africa Voices Dialogue session. It's wonderful to have you all with us. Today's session is being hosted for us by Uganda, by an incredibly energetic duo and all of their team. So Barbara and Faith are really remarkable. They run the National Schools Competition in Uganda, and they've done some incredible work together, and their team is extraordinarily inspiring. And so we're really looking forward to hearing their story today and hopefully taking some inspiration and some real courage and joy and excitement to start or grow what's existing in this space in our own countries. It's been wonderful to work with the two of them and to get some insight into Uganda as a country, how extraordinarily beautiful it is. So this particular picture is just breathtaking. So to introduce, Barbara Kasekende is a youth advocate. She's the CSI manager at Stanbic Bank, and she started and has really grown this incredible national schools program to facilitate the development of entrepreneurial mindset in Ugandan youth. In 2016, if I'm not mistaken, Barbara, you'll share a little bit more with us just now about that. Faith is the founder of Skeed International, and she works very closely with Barbara. And then we have some incredible young people and educators from the team that have been through this program who are going to share their journey with us. So Patricia Malumba, Nshuti Elve, Henry Kazibwe, and Mr. Beast and Samuel Ahabo, who are also going to share some of their story with us. Just a quick housekeeping piece. So as those of you who've been in many of these dialogues with us before will be aware, we really would like these places to be safe, beautiful, about experience, not about expertise, and to be places of belonging. So our dialogues, we really want every participant to feel that they have an opportunity to engage, to participate, to give their own experiences within their own frameworks of the work that's happening, of how the dialogue is impacting their own thinking. And so what we do is we host these alternating circles of conversation where we have people hosting from a particular country who share their story, and they're held within the conversational circle of our whole group. And while we are in that mode, we would just appreciate if everybody could keep their mics on mute so that we don't get a lot of background noise coming in. But we would love you to keep your videos on, because seeing the faces of this wonderful community gives us a lot of joy. Then we alternate between that conversational circle and breakaway rooms where there's an opportunity for you to get to know each other a little bit better. We really, really hope for connections to be made. So if you find somebody that you fall in love with in a breakaway room and that you just want to talk to again, please do make sure that you reach out to them in the chat group and find a way to connect afterwards. Right, what we would love to do now is move on to having a little bit of a time to land together and to belong in the space together. We do have people that are coming in still, so as they come in, we will create more rooms for them to go into. But what we'd really love to do now is just say welcome to you all. Before we pop you into breakaway rooms to greet each other, perhaps Barbara and Faith, I could ask the two of you just to say a quick hello, introduce yourselves, and after that we will go into a breakaway room with 4 people in each breakaway room. And please, we'd love for you just to introduce yourselves to each other, and perhaps share with each other what's brought you the greatest joy in the work that you do in your own contexts over the past week. Barbara and Faith, could you kick off with that for our general group, and then we'll break away.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Barbara.
Hi, everyone. I'm Faith.
And we're very, very excited to be with you this evening. We are actually humbled that we were chosen to host this. You cannot imagine. So seeing all of you, I'm seeing people from Berlin, you know, from Kenya, from all over. Wow, we are very excited, and we hope our story will inspire you guys. We hope that our story will also be a stepping stone for other countries to learn from, or from us to learn from you, so that the youth of our country and beyond can own this narrative. So we're very excited to be here. Thank you so much, Robin. Let us begin.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right, so we have 43 people in the room. I'm going to make 11 breakout rooms for us. Everybody should be assigned to a room with 3 or 4 people. When you get into the room with each other, please, please, we would love you to connect. So just introduce yourselves. What is your name? Where do your feet land? So where do they rest on this earth? And what is the thing that has brought you great joy in the past week in doing the work that you do in your context? Right, so off we go. Enjoy yourselves and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time together. We will give you 10 minutes for this exercise. So I'll let you know a minute beforehand, and then when we close the room, it also gives you a minute. So you'll have 2 minutes notice, so you can make sure that everybody has a chance to meet and introduce themselves. We're actually going to make us 12 rooms because we're just gaining participants as time moves. All right, so the rooms are opening. Off you go. Have fun. Okay. Okay, are you guys seeing anybody having problems with joining a room? Go down to the little thing that says, the little 4 blocks that says breakout room, and you should see something that says you have been invited to a specific breakout room. If I've got people left over, I will join you in manually, things in a new way, and seeing how it's possible for us to move our South African education ecosystem. Let's try you again, Patricia, and then I think we are going to have to close the rooms. So, Patricia, should we try you one more time?
My name is Patricia. My name is Patricia Agaruchire Mulumba. I hope you can now hear me.
Much better.
Robin, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, my name is Patricia Agaruchire Mulumba. I am a teacher in a school called Mengo Senior School in Uganda, and the school has a population of close to 5,000 students. I teach students from senior 1 to senior 6, and I have been able to do other things besides teaching, which has helped me motivate and inspire my students to always think outside the box. And I'm proud to say that as of last year, I was able to publish a book called Perfect Imperfections. And it's one thing that I've been able to do, and it has changed my life. So today I move to so many other schools trying to tell all the students out there that, you know, life is good and you can make it what you want. All you have to do is change your mindset. And today I'm very happy to be a part of this great dialogue. Nice to meet you all, and I look forward to more interaction with each one of you.
Fantastic. That is amazing. Thank you, Patricia. I'm so glad that we were able to hear that. Thank you for sharing. And I think that everyone will be moving back into the main room. So while we're waiting, anybody want to share something great that happened while you were in those breakaway rooms? A nice connection you made, something great you heard?
Hi again, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hello. Hello, Si Aziz, and hello, Robin. Hello, all the attendees.
Hello.
So lovely to be with you.
Hi. So
hello,
hi. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Timothy Osorio. Welcome.
I see my friend.
Hello,
Andrew.
good to see you.
Andrew, hi.
Hi, good to see you. Hello, Joyce Malombe. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Right, thank you guys. That is great. What a beautiful picture. I just had to take a screenshot. What a beautiful picture. Please, if you can, put your videos on so that we can see you. If you can't, it's fine. So some areas have terrible bandwidth, and we know then it makes nothing gets heard. So if you can't put it on, leave it off. But if you can, we love seeing your faces. Awesome, guys. So we are now going to go into...
Yes, we can. It's our pleasure to see you.
Good. Nice to see you too, Windowed. We're going to go into the beginning part of our session together today. And Andrew, Aziz, and I thank Barbara, Faith, Patricia, and all of the amazing young people that are joining them today for making this session so exciting and for making it possible for us. It's a really, really important topic. And we are thrilled to be able to discuss it together. So Barbara, we would love to hand over to you. Perhaps a quick intro of all of your different team members, and then you can take it from there.
Thank you so much, Robin. Once again, guys, turn on your cameras so that people can see you. So maybe let me introduce my teammates so that you know who's here. We are actually teammates. There's no student, there's no educator. We're one team. Under the national schools, our motto here is we work as a team. So I'm not stand big, she's not skid, it's one team. So as I introduced myself earlier, my name is Barbara Kasekende, and I am a youth advocate. Really, that is my title. That is what I'm passionate about. The other things are titles for the bank, but my true passion is with young people. They have to own this narrative. In our 40s, it is time. But right, this lovely young lady is called Faith Namalwa. And we have walked this journey in a very interesting way, because the way we met was quite, did we meet on LinkedIn? Yeah, you know, so there were quite a lot of, but her passion speaks volumes, and you're going to hear from her shortly. But what she has is something that you don't find very often. Her passion is empowering educators to change the mindset of young people. You don't find very many people like that. So we've walked this journey together because she's very passionate about educators, but also passionate about young people, especially the boy child. Very interesting. So you should see Patricia on the screen somewhere. Please, Patricia, turn on your video. This woman is absolutely special. When we were in national schools 2018, she was one of the teachers that was part of the program. I kid you not, and I have to say this, Patricia, I love you. But at that particular point in time when I met her, she was one of the shyest women I had ever met, who was just kind of starting her journey. The only title she had was, I'm a teacher. And I kept asking her, what does teacher mean? And to date, she's an author. She does skills training in her home. This woman is on TV more than I am. And this is a teacher who's still doing all that and still teaching. And that is the mindset that we want to change, both from an educator perspective, even from a business perspective. So Teacher Patricia, you are a blessing. We've walked this journey together. You're gonna hear from her. And of course, I call them my kids. Yes, they are. Boys, I love you. But my tech guy who owns a company called iTech is Nshuti. Nshuti, wave. He joined national schools in 2019. I kid you not, I could never understand a word he said because his English was very interesting. Yeah. And the only way we got to know him is, oh, by the way, I love music, so I write scripts, I do a lot of acting. And I had a show as part of national schools, and Nshuti joined as a dancer, without me even knowing that he could do so much.
I think it's you that's frozen, Barbara. Hoping you can swap to one of the other devices quick.
It's probably ask Nshuti to say more about himself, if Nshuti can hear.
Nshuti, share a little bit. Mr. Beast, open up there so that you two can introduce yourselves while Barbara is coming back to us.
Yes, I think she is facing network challenges now, but she'll be joining us later.
Okay, well,
can you hear me, please? Let me know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
you're back, Barbara. You're back.
Oh, okay, good. So Mr. Bates as well, I got to know him on the stage, and it was one of those most interesting things that at that particular point, I have to use separate. This is the thing when you have so many computers around you. So I also knew him on the stage, and I did not know this guy is a guru when it comes to sustainable agriculture. You're gonna hear from him. These kids, I tell you, none of them is above 22. And they're here already creating change in the communities in which we live. I have another young man here who doesn't have his camera on. Hopefully you can see him. Mr. Abajo, Samuel, please wave, and you'll get to hear from him as well. This young man, very, very interestingly, when I met him, it was in 2018, national schools, and they had just gone through a debate. And it's very interesting. He kept telling me, can you imagine we lost? How can I go back to school when we lost? I'm like, lost what? A debate? If you lost $1 million, let's have a chat. But this was just a debate. What are you talking about? You lost. I told him we need to have a chat. You and I need to start a journey together. That was 2018. To date, he has a company where he's empowering other young people to earn a living. Ladies and gentlemen, the story here is absolutely amazing. The journey is humbling on my part. Last but not least, Mr. Kazibwe Henry. So I meet this man. You can see him, he's waving, and very quiet. Very quiet man. He barely said anything. And I don't like quiet people. You're quiet because there's something we need to tickle so that you can say something. And just like that, after the boot camp in 2019, he partnered with Mr. Bees. Of course, then I'm like, but how did this quiet guy partner with this noisy guy? And they created some, a company or a consultancy together in agriculture again. And for me, it was humbling. And here we are. So we're excited to really tell you our journey. And please feel free to interact and ask questions and be a part of our journey as well. So over to you, Robin. That's us, that's the team.
Fantastic. Thanks, Barbara. I'm going to pull the slides up for you to introduce your beautiful country to us, you or any one of your team who wants to. And if anybody is unmuted, please mute yourself while we're in the main room so that I don't have to run around looking for the people to mute. And let's listen to the story of Uganda and the story of Barbara and the team.
Thank you. Of course, for anyone that let's try and meet that. The guys in the room, I humbly apologize. It was Mr. Bees. I'm going to be a teacher and just kind of cane this dude. But anyway, that's said and done. For anyone that took history, this is basic history. Uganda is called the Pearl of Africa, and it is truly the Pearl of Africa, landlocked with the most freshwater lakes and beautiful forests that we are cutting down. We have a problem, a big one that we need to address. But it's still a beautiful country, part of East Africa, of course, neighboring Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi. Official languages English and Swahili. But ask me if it is Swahili in our schools. Teacher Patricia, they don't. So, but of course, it's an official language. We have 43 languages and over 100, I think, and 20 dialects. I do not know how we manage, but in this country, as small as it is, we do. We are over 42 million people and counting. Ugandan women are very fertile. On average, we have 4 to 5 kids. So it's quite interesting. Yes, on average, a woman here. So, but then again, because with the population growth, as we know, it also poses some challenges, but I believe we're on the path to try and solve that. We have close to 135 districts. I think that's a bit too many, if you ask me. And of course, our major languages, our major religions here are Christianity being the biggest. Then we have the Muslims, and of course you have to have the local religions. This is Africa after all. Well, we had to put Uganda in pictures so that at least we show the beautiful side of it. And people are not looking at the political element. When people think of Africa, they show a kid with flies on their nose. They show a war-torn country. They never show that, Africa is a lot prettier than what people see on CNN and BBC. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the beautiful Uganda. From the northern parts of Uganda, where you have the biggest national park, to where you have Gulu and Arua, that is on your, I think it is on your left-hand side above, to the eastern region where you have the famous Sipi Falls, it's beautiful, and the Rocky Tororo district, and Jinja. I mean, the lake is just beautiful there. You can see from the views. And then that is where River Nile is. So I don't know if there's anyone from Egypt, because if we look River Nile, you don't get water up there. Huh? This is the source of River Nile. So of course, then you get down to Western Uganda. I think it's absolutely beautiful. These guys have rocks, hills. You hear about Mountain Rwenzori, the crater lakes, the healing waters. Okay, I did not say that because I'm not sure if those waters really heal, but the villagers believe they're healing waters, but it's absolutely gorgeous. The tea estates are to die for. And then where we are right now is in Kampala, which is the capital city of Uganda. And Entebbe, for those of you who have been to Kampala, that's where you land and you see the beautiful, beautiful Lake Victoria. And that is kind of like a snapshot of Kampala. Guys, come visit. There's a lot of beauty here. And we are the friendliest country in Africa. Kid you not. We are the most hospitable and the most friendly country in Africa. So that is Uganda in a nutshell. I am from Kampala, but I was born in Nyeri, Tumutumu district. Can you imagine? But I am a Ugandan. I am a Ugandan though. So yeah, it is a global world. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, just to dive in, because I know we do not have much time. Like I introduced before, Faith here is very passionate about the entrepreneurial mindset. Yes. I'm going to have a talk for a few minutes. The difference between entrepreneurship and an entrepreneurial mindset, because 90% of the time, I think when we throw that word, it is thrown everywhere. Oh, entrepreneur, we throw it, but I don't know if we understand exactly what it means. And I'll have Faith talk about that in detail before we dive into the program as to why we are so passionate about young people. Why aren't we passionate about ourselves? Why are we passionate about young people and why we run the program?
So, over to you. Thank you very much, Barbara. Barbara has done a very good introduction about Uganda, and I'd like to welcome you to Uganda right now. I want you to feel at home. I don't care where you are right now. I want you to feel the spirit that you feel in Uganda. So, as a teacher by profession, one thing I always say, I don't do question and answer. So when Barbara told you that I'm going to tell you the difference between entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurial mindset, don't expect what is entrepreneurship. I'm sorry, that's not the right place. I'm sorry, this is not the place for that, because I believe that all young people are successful, and it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter whether you didn't get enough red ticks. It doesn't matter whether your report was not, I don't know even what you mean by poor grades. You're not poor, okay? So what I want you to know about entrepreneurship is that entrepreneurship is taught in school. I'm sure you all know that. And these days we use it often. Every young person wants to be an entrepreneur, and all the entrepreneurship is based on technology development. I'm going to develop an app. I'm going to develop the next Steve Jobs. I'm going to do all this and all that. Now, when we bring it back home, because I want entrepreneurship to be the community where you live, the community where you stay. So right now, for long, I've known entrepreneurship as an academic discipline, okay? But the entrepreneurship mindset is a state of mind, all right? What does it mean? That it's ever evolving, it's ever changing. Yes. So I want to take you from the entrepreneurship you have known and the notes you have. I know you can go to Google and get a very good definition. Wonderful. I want to take you from that definition, I'm just going to start a business and I'm an entrepreneur. And that's why they say most young people, the startups in Africa fail, because young people have not understood that entrepreneurship is not an academic discipline. It is a state of mind. And that is why today we are fostering the entrepreneurial mindset. Yes? So we are fostering the entrepreneurial mindset. Why? I want you to take you beyond selling and buying. I really appreciate when you make profits. I want to take you beyond that to something that you can even adapt. If tomorrow you get back to a child, you can adapt this mindset as early as 7 years. The entrepreneurial mindset, I want to tell you, does not require your degree. It does not require your good grades. It does not, actually it does not need anyone to feed it. Because most young people are used to being fed. You know, the teacher is coming to class, you go to school and you work hard. You believe when you achieve all these credentials, all these papers, all these certificates, you have made it in life. So now I'm going to take you from being fed and to go and get your chips. Because in being fed, you wanted to get a job. So you thought you get the papers and then you get a job. So we're going to shift from that to where we are now. Yes? Now, when we talk about the entrepreneurial mindset, one thing I want you to know that it's a state of mind. It's a process. It's continuous. It's not a fixed. It's not fixed, you know, to what you know, to what you have had. Rather, it's dependent on your experience. And the situation. What you go through, yes, what you go through when you're solving a problem in your community, even if you have not yet made the money, even if you have not yet seen the profits, because most young people, they thought, you know, when I get an app, put it out up there on Play Store, the money is going to come, the dollars are going to start pouring in my account. When you see them opening up YouTube channels, they think the dollars are going to just start, you know, coming. That's not what I've come to share with you. Rather, I've come to tell you that the experiences you go through, that even if you fail 300 times, on that 298th time, that experience you go through is worth it. It's worthwhile, and you never give up. You know, Barbara's been talking about Mr. B's when he failed and debate and went to Barbara crying, oh, I failed. That's an entrepreneur, all right? When you have the entrepreneurial mindset, that is because it's a growth mindset. It's not fixed, you know, to the debate. I have these points, you got these points. You ask yourself, why did I fail? Mr. Biz would have gone back to Barbara and asked him, Madam Barbara, we didn't win in this cohort of the Zambia National Schools Championship. What can I do better? Where did I lose it? What did I miss? You get, because yes, it's a learning experience. Are we together? So today, when you're talking about the entrepreneurial mindset, what I want you to know is that we are looking at you. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your qualifications. We believe that you can be a success. Yes, and being a success starts with you. And wherever you are, we are not, it doesn't, one thing I want to share is that before COVID, I think we had entrepreneurs, and post-COVID taught us, because we were disrupted, everything was disrupted, people had jobs, and then you wake up in after COVID, the company has been sold, yes? Because before you are selling your time as an employee, you are selling your time, but when you are an entrepreneur, you've been positioned to buy other people's time, yes? So that you can do more. If you're solving a problem and you're working as a team, you want to be able to achieve more together, not alone, and you're going far and forward together. That's why we are today here right now, as all of us are learners, all of us are teachers, and we're bringing our experience on board to make each other better. Thank you very much.
And there you are. Thank you so much. I told you she's a teacher. She really, really enjoys what she's talking about. But also another thing about this mindset is the entrepreneurial mindset is not necessarily for your typical businessman. It is for every leader. As long as someone is a leader in their own right, even that tea girl who serves tea in the in the offices, the mindset that she has towards what she's doing is what describes her as a true entrepreneur. I believe if we get that mindset right across all bodies, then this world would be in a better place. And that's what we are trying to teach the youth of Uganda today. So of course, let's talk about why we care. I mentioned, because a lot of times someone will say, okay, yes, this youth story has been heard. We've seen the UN reports and so on. But let me tell you why we care. And maybe let me bring it down to why I also care, because this is a personal journey. Ladies and gentlemen, over 80% of Uganda's population is under 30. I kid you not. At 41 years old, I'm in the top 15%. Can you imagine? That is very scary. So you're talking about youth from the age of 18 to 30 making up to 50%. And 70% of these young people are in the rural areas. Okay, so of course, if people are thinking of coming to Kampala, the capital city, to do something for themselves, we have a problem. So just to give you a few statistics of the education in Uganda today, 7.5, actually, these are pre-COVID, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is pre-COVID. And 70.5% of primary school going kids, who are approximately 7.3 million kids, only 7.5% finish primary school, okay? 5.4% finish secondary school. Only 4,000 managed to graduate, 40,000 managed to graduate to 9,000 jobs, okay? And remember, the 9,000 jobs, you have to have at least 3 years of experience. So exactly where are these kids going? And these statistics were before COVID. Due to COVID, right now as we speak, even with our program, you've had over 50% of these percentages of kids drop out of school. What is happening to the young people in Uganda today? And I'm sure a lot of us have a similar situation in our countries where we are. We also know that Uganda is termed as one of the most entrepreneurial, I'm putting that in quotes, entrepreneurial country, but most of these SMEs or most of these startups that start never reach their first year. Within the first 3 to 4 months, they are gone and done with. Then again, it goes to say that our young people don't understand what it means in the first place. You know, it is a hustling game. How do I hustle to make something for myself? So of course, because of that, the young people in Uganda have a sense of lost hope. There is no way I can sit down and watch this happen when my 2 boys have been born in this country. And that's how, together with Stanbic Bank and a lot of other partners, we said, guys, if we don't do something about this now, even you Stanbic as a bank, you will cease to exist. Because exactly who are you going to be doing business with? And on top of that, definitely we are not being sustainable and we're not making Uganda the Uganda we want it to be. So when we saw this 6 years ago, we said, guys, I don't care if you're a bank or not, you're going to give us at least 1% of your profit after tax, and see if we can do something together with other partners and do something and put a footprint on the Ugandan soils so that our youth can have something to look forward to. Thus, the National Schools Championship Program was born. Now, this program is mostly in the secondary school ecosystem. Why? One, when you think of secondary schools, it's not just about the student. It is the school, it is the student, it is the supplier, it is the community, and it is the parents. Those are five elements in that ecosystem. Clearly, if I have touched one student, I have also touched 5 areas and close to 17 people in that student's network. Ladies and gentlemen, when we started in 2015, actually, we started with 30 schools, and it was a challenge. But to date, we are in over 200 schools. We have reached over 400,000 students directly. We have reached close to 1.2 million students indirectly. But on top of that, we've reached over 500 teachers. We have gotten close to 1,200 business ideas. And of those 1,200, we have close to 150 already on ground, and you're going to hear some success stories. And the stories go on and go on and go on, including teacher businesses and things like that, and schools actually changing the way they do business every day within their school environment. So someone will say, what do you do under this, under the National Schools Program? So what we do under the National Schools Program, we tell the student, go and find a problem in your community or within your school and find a business solution that speaks to the Sustainable Development Goals, and then come back and talk. Okay, so we send these kids out to go, and it doesn't matter, because ladies and gentlemen, here we're not looking, okay, the next Steve Jobs can come, but in the Ugandan element, in your village, what can you do in your village to make your village prosper? as a young kid without you having to come to a capital city to succeed. You don't need, Kampala is not paved with gold. You need to find the gold in your street, in your little village where you are. And that's what National Schools does in a nutshell. We focus in particular areas, AKA mindset shift. Because whether we like it or not, it doesn't matter how much we run this. If this kid's mindset is not changed, like Teacher Faith was saying, then we've not done a thing. So we focus heavily on mindset shift. We look at life skills. We look at financial literacy. Of course, you know, I work for a bank, that's critical. We look at leadership skills, very, very critical. My dear, as a 12-year-old is never too young to learn this, because we have success stories of 13-year-olds who have their own businesses. Business and definitely entrepreneurship skills. The other thing we do under National Schools is, for example, something around career development. I'm sure a lot of us know when we grow up, you're told you can only be a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, you know, those 5 elements that they tell students. Heck, I did computer science. I'm not using it. But, you know, that's what we're told because that was the it thing. So under National Schools, we train these kids and tell them that, look, at the end of the day, your heart is saying something. What is it saying? And whatever it is saying, how can we help you to move it from point A to point B so that you take the right discipline if you're going the college route or if you're going the vocational route and vice versa. So those are all other things that we do under National Schools. So the way we work with National Schools is you have the body, which is National Schools, that's manned by the bank, which is Stanbic Bank. And then you have a teacher. A teacher is our main ambassador for the project. And these are called patron teachers because they're the ones that hold the students together. We cannot be in the school communities every day. Right now, as I speak, we have 100 schools. It has been close to 60,000 students countrywide. So you need teachers to help you connect these dots. So a teacher is very critical to run National Schools. Of course, the school is critical. They have to allow the program to run. What we do under National Schools is we are training out of the classroom. Yes, they say they teach entrepreneurship, but if you ask a teacher, what does it mean? They'll say, but the textbook or the dictionary, what is the dictionary called? The Oxford Dictionary says this. I mean, what is that? So we want to ensure that even the teacher who's part of the program is a change agent and has gone through it, because you can't teach a student something when you haven't walked that journey. What exactly are you teaching? So because we have a strong teacher and we have a school that allows that program to run, and the ministry, thank God, that allows us to run this program in schools, that creates an ecosystem around collaboration. In fact, somebody was saying it, I think that's Murad, thank you, where we actually collaborate. Otherwise, this program would never happen. So a lot of this even happens with the district, local officials and leaders. There's a lot of things that we do in the back end to make this program run. And as I said, there's five elements that make up that ecosystem. So of course, as I had mentioned, the teacher trains the student, they are ambassadors, and the school ensures continuity. So when the program runs, remember, we leave the school. Who do we leave behind? The teacher. So because we leave the teacher behind and we leave the teacher in the school environment, our program needs to remain working for it to be sustainable. Otherwise, it becomes another championship where they win iPads and then they go home with huge trophies. And that's not what we want, because the program is all about skilling. And then, of course, as that happens, the kids then end up, okay, you're not kids, boys, I love you, creating their own ecosystems, as you'll hear from some of our success stories before, as well as choosing the right paths. One thing I can tell you is a lot of our students that have gone through the program have finally found out that what they wanted to do in university is not what they wanted. We had one student who said they wanted to be a doctor and they were very adamant. Then they were like, but wait a minute, I fear blood. What am I doing? No, I can't do this. Mr. Biz here, I think, was going to do physics. Then I'm like, what are you going to do? Sciences. It's like, why don't you use sciences in something you love? And actually he found now he can do something with it, as you'll hear from him. There's so many stories that come from career development that is not taught in schools. And that is something that is very critical, so that it makes then employers have an easier way to be able to recruit people to work for them. Now, another thing under National Schools that I hadn't put here, I humbly apologize, is something around internships. In Uganda, you can only do an internship with an organization in your second year of university. I think that is just messed up. You cannot, by the time it's a bit too late, you go into your second year, that year you're graduating, you're leaving, you're looking for a job. It doesn't make sense. So under national schools, we made an experiment and took on our first set of 25 interns who ended up running the program. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So anyway, after that, we realized that we're going to champion starting internships at an early age of 18. It is possible. A child doesn't have to be 22 to do an internship. So those are all, I know we're running out of time, and those are all the beautiful things that are happening under the program. But of course, as usual, we have several challenges, as you can see on your screen in front of you, mentorship opportunities, funding opportunities, the usual, proper networks, and the too young mentality. Ladies and gentlemen, a child from the age of 12 to the age of 20 is not too young. They're actually ready to create impact and be change agents on the African continent. And I think on that note, I need to let others talk. So I would love to move this mantle to a woman that actually touches my heart, because that shows, these are things that make me wake up every morning and literally cry, knowing that I've changed someone's life personally. So I'd like to introduce Teacher Patricia to just tell us her story. Over to you, Teacher Patricia.
Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very happy to be here. My name is Patricia, and I am a teacher in Mengo Senior School, and that is where I made the National Schools Championship in the year 2018. And I'm very, very happy that I came across National Schools Championship in that year. And like Barbara has said, my life and the life of the students that I interact with has never been the same. And I want to thank Stanbic Bank for putting up such a program to help the young men and women of this country. I remember at a time when the championship began, I was the kind of teacher that always did everything by the book. I would follow what it is I'm supposed to teach, and chances are high I used to teach the way I was taught in school. So that is something that goes on, especially in the life of those that interact with students. You find you do things the way things were done to you. So you teach the same way, you mark the same way, you discipline students the same way. But after joining national schools and realizing that there's so much I can do as a teacher, I started doing things differently. And I indeed came to believe that if you're to change somebody's life, you don't have to do, what everybody does. You can do the same thing, but only do it differently. So I remember at that time, we were tasked to come up with a business that we can do. And I had students that were participating in that championship. And one of the things I remember is we sat down and I was amazed at the thoughts of these young boys and girls. And at the end of it all, we were able to start something called Men Green Recycle, knowing very well that we were solving a problem, because it's very important to teach students, but also it's important to see that we create problem solvers in our societies. And when we started Men Green Recycle, we looked at how we can recycle stuff in the environment that probably is looked at as waste, but also be able to earn something. I challenged these young boys and girls to come up with what it is we could recycle, and realize that, say, in our school where we have close to 5,000 students, at break time and lunchtime, all these students are using plastic bottles to buy soda and water. So we got all those plastic bottles in our school and we recycled them and made flower vases, we made key holders, duster and chalk holders, we made decorative material from them, and then we made planters. So we started planting vegetables in those plastic bottles. And before we knew it, the school no longer had the problem of plastic in the school. We were able to solve the problem of environmental degradation. And for me, I feel that was really, really something very big. And ever since then, I tasked most of the students to make sure they go out there and find a way they can solve any problem. But then also this relationship with the national schools and what they do changed my life as an individual. I started looking out for who I was. I had to define myself, because we say the mindset is everything. It makes or breaks you. So my mindset changed. I asked myself, who is Patricia? And it was then that I realized that everything I do it with love. And I want to extend as much love as possible, especially to these young boys and girls who come in school from an environment that is, you know, very disturbing. And if they come to school, if I could be the teacher that gives these students reason to come to school, that would make me sleep at night. And so I defined myself as a lover of love. And then I realized that one of my purpose in life, my main purpose why I was created and made a teacher, was to inspire before I expire. And today I walk by that. I am a lover of love that was born to inspire before I expire. And when lockdown came, most teachers had problems. I would hear my colleagues complain they have nothing to do. But here I was. I had a business with my students, Membrane Recycle. I am a jeweler. I started a company called Trishas Magic Jewels Creations, where I do all these things. I touch so many people's lives. I'm a teacher. But what am I doing out there? I'm touching somebody and blessing them. And for me, that keeps me going. And when we were in lockdown, I was able to write a book because of the way I've been inspiring people, inspiring students. I said, I have to sit down and do something. And as a marriage counselor, I found people coming to me, had issues during lockdown. And so I wrote a book. And this book is called Perfect Imperfections, Living the Dream of a Marriage That Lasts a Lifetime. It looks like this, but you cannot believe this book has changed lives of people. Today, like Barbara was saying, I'm hosted on all the TVs in Uganda, on radio stations. I am in the newspapers all the time. The church, our church in Uganda called Relive Cathedral, has even made me the official advocate for marriages centered on God. But all that came as a result of changing my mindset. So everybody calls and they want to talk to me, and I'm still changing people. When we came out of lockdown, I realized that students were having a lot of problems staying at home. And so I did a personal campaign of saying, because my belief was I have to be a change mover. I have to be somebody that inspires before I expire. So when we came out of lockdown, I made a personal campaign of going to schools. I said, I'm going to go to schools, encourage these young boys and girls and tell them, no, it's okay. COVID came, but then that doesn't change. You still have your mind, you still have your energy, you still have your will and zeal. You can still be a better person. So you encourage them to be better despite whatever condition or whatever situations they go through. Life is exactly what you make it. Even when two people are suffering maybe from the same situation, it's the way you look at it. Because winners don't do different things. Winners do things differently. As a teacher, I don't have to do different things. I simply have to do things differently. So I no longer look at only the students in my school, but I have moved to more than 80 schools so far. And my target is by the end of 2021, if I can go to close to 100 schools, I will be very happy. And in order for me to do that now, I realize I need to multiply myself. That is why I have now put so many other people on board so we can go together. When I partner with National Schools Championship, I know that's the way to go. And watch the space. We are going to change this world and change the mindset of the students, and we shall make it a better country and have better youth that are focused and happy. I'm so happy to be here. God bless you. And thank you, Robin. And thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you. Wow.
Yeah, now you understand. I apologize. We have several devices here. There we are. Ladies and gentlemen, you understand. Oh, so sorry. Let's mute this. Humbly apologize. There we are. Humbly apologize about that. But you understand why, for me, this is a personal calling. I need to ensure that everything I do, whether it is with Stanbic, because Stanbic is really an enabler to my dream. There are such stories. I cannot talk about the impact Teacher Patricia has done, both in community, in the schools, in the student. Her ecosystem in the church is beyond. And those are the changes that we're talking about. To impact one person, they impact a whole community. And that's why we do what we do. Now, I'm going to move over to Nshuti. And Nshuti, is definitely, it's time to talk about the success stories. I know Robin, we're going to keep the time in. Each one has 5 minutes, boys 5 minutes. Sorry, your mothers have taken off over the time. So, but I'm going to go over to Nshuti to just talk about, his experience and, whatever challenges he has, but most especially what this has taught him. We might be the educators, but I think it's only right that you hear it from the students and the young people that actually got the teachings from us. So Nshuti, over to you.
You are muted.
You're still muted.
Just unmute. Nshuti, just unmute. There we go.
Okay, I start over. Sorry for that. My name is Nshuti Elve, as Madame Barbara introduced me. And I was saying, the way you see me, I'm a success story of the Stanbic National Schools Championship. I joined the championship in 2019, and my aim was to win goodies, go to South Africa, enjoy myself, come back as a celeb, that's all. So when I reached to the championship, unfortunately, I didn't make it. I didn't go to South Africa. But when I came from the championship, I came with a mentality, the entrepreneurial mindset. What did I do after I was done with that? I started reflecting from what I had learned, that what I needed to do in life. At first, there is this fallacy that when you're important in these communities of ours, is that time when you're called an engineer, is that time they call you a doctor. But from this championship, I learned that what you do with the title is what makes you important in the society. So I'm personally passionate. I love, even if you cut my veins, you'll see ICT technology going out. So me, I'm tech. So when I came from there, I was like, okay, so I need to be this important person in the community. What do I do? I'm in my senior 6 vacation. And what did I do? I decided to start a company, iTech Company Africa. What does iTech Company do? iTech Company is a company established to solve problems in the society using science and technology. So when I'm starting, remember, I'm in my senior 6 vacation. I don't know how to write a code. Starting from scratch, there is nothing. But then I now understood that for me to get all that, I needed to go beyond what the teachers were telling me in school. Yes. In school, the teachers are interested in you getting a 90, getting A. Great. But how are you going to use that information you produced on the script to get an A, to solve the challenges in the society? I had to go, did a lot of tutorials on YouTube. I did a free course from Harvard Computer Science. And that's the time when COVID was hitting all over the world. Students were crying. People had got government scholarship. Like, when are schools opening? Me, I was already studying. I was in the system. So right now, what is iTech Company doing? iTech Company, when COVID hit, of course, for us, we are using science and technology to solve the problems. COVID has come, shops are closed, people are not leaving home. Me, a person who has passed through the championship, I'm like, this is a business opportunity. How do I make money through this? When I did that, the first thing was to do graphics and design for the businesses. I do graphics for the businesses. We upload on social media. They get customers. We receive their orders. We send it to the business people. We also do the deliveries of the commodities. And in between that, we are able to get approximately 10 to 5% of the money that is used to sell, to buy the commodity. Who else was making that money in COVID? Ministers, they are home, locked in their homes. So through that, we are selling a lot of electronics, but as I take company,
including the laptop you're on, thank you.
Yes, even the laptop that I'm using, by the way, I sold it to Madame Barbara. And thank you for giving me business. So where is iTech company going? As I told you, iTech company, we want to develop projects that are solving problems in our society. For example, I wish this COVID found me when I had already started iTech company. You would have got the tour from iTech company. Yes, that's what iTech company is standing for. So where is iTech company going? iTech company is growing bigger. We are not going to remain being the intermediates between the buyers and the sellers. We want also to start supplying the commodities ourselves, because we have realized what we are doing that other people are not doing in the market. We are providing quality products. We are efficient. When you order something on Jumia or Amazon, it is going to take 2 weeks. But for us, you order within 24 hours, you have already received your commodity that you ordered for. So we want to own our own project, our own products. We want to have an innovation hub where these people like me, people who want to use science, people with these codes, people with projects that are going to change our society will be coming. We meet together, we finance them, which is one of the challenges that we are facing, that we have not attained that capital to launch all the projects that we are having. Ladies and gentlemen, time is really limited, but I hope I'll get in touch with most of you on my LinkedIn. It is Nchuti.lv. You can go on my email, lv.chuti@gmail.com. I'll post them in the chat. We continue talking about this. We shall share more. Trust me, iTech company has done more than what I've just said. And we are also growing bigger. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chuti. When I met him, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, he was dancing on stage with very limited English. I could barely understand exactly what he's saying. Now look at him. This shows me that there's a light at the end of the tunnel for Africa. There's work to be done, a lot of it, but when you hear such stories, then that means our work is cut out for us. There's no time to sleep. The time to action is now. Without a further ado, I think Henry is ready. I would like to introduce this young man called Henry. And like I said, very quiet. He's now here going to talk to you and all his dreams. And even when he wanted to go to college and he's like, oh, I want to go now. I think I'm changing now. I want to do this. But first, wait, I don't think. And I said, but these kids, why do we keep ignoring them? I wish I was told this when I was younger. I would have been the next Oprah or something. But anyway, we'll get there. I'm just 40 years old. But over to you, Henry.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Hi, everyone. And I'm going to speak about food. Trust me, everyone here came when they ate. And believe me, if they give you a message right now that you're not eating tonight, that's another issue.
Yeah.
So the food I'm talking about, we started, if I talk about food, most of the people, when you talk about agriculture, they will think about food.
Before you do, when did
Before
you join national schools?
So now, when we joined national schools back then in 2019, I had this mind, everyone would speak about that, winning. Win, go to South Africa, get that money, get that iPad. But when I reached there, it was a different case. I didn't even make it to the top 4. So now I lost it, and then these people were like, you know what, you've not lost. We have more opportunities for you. And I thought maybe they were kidding, just anyone consoling you after losing, you shouldn't commit suicide, all that. So what came next, I I decided to go for the sessions that were held during National School Championship Boot Camp. And I just picked a few of them. They told us to solve problems. They told us to be the change that we want. You first act it. And then you should be positive and believe in yourself before anyone else does. And when we came out, when we left the boot camp, we met with Mr. Bees. You will hear him and feel the energy. So when we met, we decided to begin a consultants firm and to solve the problems just like they had told us to. And we looked at Uganda with the beautiful climate that we have. Why should people starve? Why should people spend a lot of money on groceries that they can grow home? Why should we suffer from pollution of plastics? Those are the different problems that we have. People starve, you know, pollution. I think with some few years from now, we shall be having some bad effects of the climate according to the actions we are doing right now. In fact, it has already started. But now we decided to do something. We're like, now let's look at the plastics that people use. What happens after using them? Let's make gardens out of them. Let's put something fancy at home. You know, you have something like a pot from a used plastic bottle, but then grow a sukuma wiki in that. Grow a spinach. Grow something there. Put onions. That's what we started as a joke. And currently speaking, we've got clients. A lot of them, including Barbara.
Yes, you still have to do my
So now we decided that we decided to begin on that, and in the same way, we are looking at something to solve unemployment, because I'm a year one student doing Bachelor of Commerce, but then Bachelor of Commerce leads you to something like a bank, things of that sort. But now I'm in agriculture, something to do with digging and all that. Who would believe that would happen? And what I really need from every youth around the world is, it's not what they see in school that makes them what they are supposed to be like outside school. It's far beyond that. You have to think outside the box, outside of what they give you in class, because the real world is not what you learn. It's what you do and fail, and then you learn from what you do, what you failed. That's the real thing. I think she was talking about internship. When we were called for internship, they did not look at how much did you score, because results were not yet out. But then I was there, they called you, and what you could speak. She says, I'm quiet, but when it comes to issues that matter, I will have to speak.
Oh no, that has changed.
Yeah. So now I really believe we need those platforms to reach out to the youth, to change their mindset. We are here. I speak, they know I'm quiet, but when it comes to speaking, I think I just speak what I'm told to and what I feel like I should talk about. So I believe if we are connected to the different youths around the world, we can really make a great impact. And we've already started. I've started influencing people in my discussion group at the university. And look, we are going to get this bigger. My colleague will share something beyond the consultants firm, because we are getting something big out of it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. There you have it. That's Henry. But can you imagine? Yeah, this young man has come a long way. And him being in agriculture, when you look at him, he dresses so nice. You can't imagine him with a bow, gumboots, overalls. But he believes in the dream. He's passionate about it. When he joined the program, he had no clue he would be doing this. But now over to his partner, and I call him, he's a mastermind. He's a true mastermind and a genius. And I'm so proud to actually introduce him. Mr. Bees, please razzle dazzle, because I know you have a lot to say.
Hello. Hi. Okay, so in the chat, someone is asking me for some entertainment. Well, when I also joined the national schools, I actually failed from the quiz. That was the first step. You know, when you're climbing the ladder, the first ladder fails you. That was me. So I failed, yes. So, Tieno, are we now okay? That's entertainment of love. Okay, so having not made it, actually I'm gifted with some good voice, Munanga. I can also sing. So yes, I was singing, and that's how I get to know Barbara closer and closer. And I was also called along for the internship and stuff like that. So during the internship, I understand national schools is about nurturing youth in entrepreneurship, mindset change, 21st century skills and stuff like that. But there was a missing beat. Agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, employing over 65% of Uganda's working population, and employing majority youth and majority women. And national schools by then, the thing was giving you 1 month to go and implement your business idea and stuff like that. But in agriculture, literally there is nothing that can take 1 month and then you begin saying, let's sit down. So that's how I bring up this idea. Then I interact with my colleague, actually Douglas, who's not here, he's our general manager. I asked him, what if we bring up this and we help the urban corporate people set up gardens in their compounds, also to implement beekeeping projects if at all they want, also implement rabbit farms and mushrooms and stuff like that. Then the idea was crude. Last year we actually we are now 1 year and 3 months. Yeah, so we started last year and we have had a number of clients. Actually, I've done more than 10 projects. If you are to speak about the revenue generated, we also have some car revenue you can talk about. So now, this year comes and then the thing is changing. We cannot be only 3 doing this. We now change mind. What of empowering fellow youth? How many youth can do what we are doing and actually earn a living from that? So now the idea of a gig agri-hubs comes in, whereby we have a training facility. Actually, let me not first go there. The problem that we are having as youth in Uganda now is, first of all, we do not know the necessary skills required in agriculture. Secondly, we need mentorship. The third point is what people overlook at, but then it is not the real point, which is capital. And then the fourth is market. When a youth is trained and a youth is mentored and a youth is offered capital and market, there is actually, that's what we need to do as a country. We can't just, actually my country now is having some government funds they are doing, but then the government funds they are offering without training, and that's how things just go wasted. You can't offer funding minus training. And when you train, offer the mentorship. There is more to training than, or there is more to offering capital. There is more to empowering a youth than just offering the capital. We need to be trained. We need to be mentored. That's why we are planning to set up a demo farm around town where youth can actually come, be trained in rabbit farming, be trained in mushroom growing, urban farming, and actually hydroponics and aquaponics, because these things require less capital. When they start these things in their small corridors, in the slums, we offer them the market. Just imagine if at all we had a farm producing 1,000 mushrooms per week, kilograms of mushrooms per week, that's not enough. When we have 100 youth producing 50 kilograms of mushrooms per week, that is actually 50,000 kilograms of mushrooms per week. And that's money. They're getting money because averagely right now, Uganda, majority of the working population of the youth are earning less than 450,000. Let me go to the rabbit sector. If at all I'm having one youth giving me 10 rabbits per month at 60,000, how much is that? That is 600,000. And if at all I have 100 youth doing the same, actually the number of people who are benefiting from the rabbit project are many. I'm speaking about empowering fellow youth in agribusiness. And that's what I think, that's what I stand for. We are having 700,000 people graduating from universities, and the job sector only accommodates 90,000 of these. The 90,000 of these 20% are underemployed. We are not looking at this picture because people keep calling it a good problem. How can it be a good problem, yet when we go to slums, the border riders are actually graduates? To me, it's not adding up for me. I need to see people not in poverty. I need to see people employed. I need to see people earning decently. I need to see people standing for climate change. And I need to see people educating others. Like, this is the impact I'm speaking about. And Barbara, is my time?
Yeah.
Okay, to wind it up. The only limiting factor now from starting is funding. When we get this, we are going to actually have 1,870 fully trained agripreneurs per year. I have this purpose already set up, and anyone who is into really agribusiness and social enterprise, I think this is the way to go. Solving unemployment through agriculture.
All right. That's Mr. Beast for you. And those of you know the behavior of Beast, he carries that very same character. But what stood out for me is what he's sharing is showing you that we are taking the classroom to the community and bringing the community to the classroom. So if young people thought that agriculture is for failures, farmers didn't study, we are going to bring the farm in the classroom. And we're going to show them that you can be anything you want in this world. And what I want you to know is that all these young people are sharing their stories. Shooty, Mr. Beast, I mean, all of them, but I want you to also see yourself in their stories. What did you discover about yourself? Because the entrepreneurial mindset is intended to develop and nurture the core competences and the 21st century skills of creativity, communication, critical thinking, collaboration. So as they share, I want you to ask yourself, what am I discovering about myself? Because they discover themselves. They're not telling you, I got A+, I got a first grade. They're showing you what they saw beyond education, beyond the four walls of the classroom. So I want you to reflect on this, because that's the intention of the entrepreneurial mindset, to help you acquire that internal reflection, reflect within yourself, because that's the only way then you can nurture this and it becomes a second nature. Yes, Barbara.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much. There you have it. Like I say, I'm always dumbfounded. My job here is to create platforms like this for these young people to soar. If I help one young person create change and be a force, a movement, a change agent, then I've done something, because that is my passion. That's what I speak for. But this young man is very interesting. He was the one that met me and thought failing a debate was the end of the world. Wait as he tells you how that completely changed as of today. So, Mr.
You probably muted yourself, Barbara.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for that introduction. And yes, they saved the best for last. So yes, Samuel Abaho is my name. And I joined the Stanbic National Schools Challenge in 2018, where we reached the semifinals. And yes, we lost the debate. And yes, I felt like a punch had just been, landed and I had fallen down. But guess what? Barbara told me that get back up from that and do something amazing. So we were actually brought into the Stanbic National Schools Challenge Boot Camp, where a gentleman called Bless Agume shared with us a video in which they compared two men. One man who worked himself perpetually to the end till he was obsolete, and then another who built a dam. It was very, very difficult, but it was able to transfer water to a village, and as long as the water flowed, it was able to make him money. It was able to give him livelihood. So in the end, that was our first picture of business. And now when I saw this first picture of business, I went on a quest for knowledge. In my S6 vacation, I attended a mentorship class and also interned at KSK Associates, where we participated in several programs. You know, we saw how to do business plans. And in the end, mcozy was born, mcozy.com. I usually ask my clients, have you ever felt the pain of wanting to go and rest after work, or to do an extra project, something that you really, really want to do, but something comes in your way? Something comes in your way, something so small that we can take care of it. That's something, we call it shopping, we call it cleaning. And our clients love challenging us. At a point, they asked us to do floor polishing, you know, roof washing. And we're like, we can do that 100%. And we do it. How we do it is we link campus students to the corporate class, you know, very busy, industrious, amazing people. You know, Barbara was talking about how Kampala is not the gold mine, but well, I find the gold in Kampala. So, and beyond actually. In the urban centers, we link these campus students to do these tasks for them, and they can now use their time as they want. As we continue building relationships with our clients, we keep communicating with them so that we improve their experience. We are a partner we are a partnership. We are 4 partners, and it has really taught us the joy of teamwork. You know, at a point we are in the middle of a task and somebody is doing the invoicing, somebody is doing the supervision. You know, it's so practical that you can wonder, wow, why isn't everyone doing this? But well, when we do these tasks, yes, we get paid. There's a percentage that goes to the student who has helped us, and then we are growing, you know, our vision of success. You know, there are all these financial jargons that fly around, gross profit margins, you know, return on investment, all those things. I've learned them, yet I'm doing water and irrigation engineering. You know, it gave us that hunger for knowledge, to learn, to grow generally, to challenge ourselves. So in the SDGs, the one that we focus on is zero poverty, which is SDG 1. If we can improve the situation of university students, Mr. B's talked about when they come out of campus. How about when they are in campus and they can do something small and earn something on a daily? We are looking at large volumes in the future of 100, 1,000 tasks a day, giving value to our clients, you know, being a force of cultural change, such that anytime somebody wants a task done for them. Right now, we mainly specialize in shopping and cleaning, but then whenever somebody thinks of a task to be done for them, they will think only and only mcozy.com. You can look it up online. It is an amazing project that we started, and we always say trust mcozy to serve you today, because trust is the biggest currency that we deal in, ladies and gentlemen. It is something that enables us to build the relationship and make the money that we do make. So that is our project, and I'm glad that we started it because of the Stand Big Challenge, because of a failure in the beginning that became beautiful in the end. Thank you.
So Samuel,
well, from Mr. Abaho's story, you learned that the entrepreneurial mindset does not mean that you're not scared. He was scared, he freaked out, but his fear has gotten him this far. So besides talking about I didn't fear, we want you to know I felt the fear and did it anyway.
Yes.
So can you do it despite all the fear, despite you know what is there for you, what's not there for, what's working, what is not working?
Yeah.
Can you feel the fear and do it anyway? Because at the end of the day, that's what will matter.
Yeah.
All the men that have spoken today say they're businessmen. They can talk about their businesses because they went and did it.
Yes.
Because they did it. That's why Mr. Biz, you know, we talk about agriculture passionately. If you're not done it, you would still be walking around with these papers and writing a wonderful CV.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank you all, and we'd like to hand over to Barbara.
Thank you very, very much, Faith. Thank you, boys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, teacher Patricia. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This is just a snapshot of the over close to 1.2 million young people that we reach. And you can imagine there's so much more. But because where we are today, we can only do so much. And I know someone has been talking about collaboration and things like that. And those are the synergies we are trying to create. But however, most of these young people have talked about projects that are not necessarily Ugandan. There are projects that can actually be moved to other places, to other areas. They can be globalized. And this is the time, and these are the platforms to help them do that. Because the challenge here, and Sanjay mentioned, the sad thing about our young people, especially in Uganda, let me talk about Uganda, is one, even as a bank as Stanbic, we can't give them loans. They are very risky. Okay, so we are not going to invest in their businesses, all right? And that is already a problem. On top of that, even funding from projects like the UN, whether, you know, it's UNDP and all these other SME funding developmental organizations, the requirements are so stringent that a Mr. B's would not be able to get that funding. So we have a challenge. So of course now we're looking for other ways, whether it's it's crowdfunding or other ways to make this happen, or collaborations. Mr. B's did not talk about it because we didn't have enough time, how he's collaborating with other farmers and other people around the country to help him out. Because unfortunately right now, even if we're talking about sustainable financing, it ain't happening in our young people yet. And that is one of my personal journeys to hopefully change the mindset of financial institutions to think differently. And that is the linkage that will ensure that these young people can prosper. And as you've heard, all these are social enterprises. It's not about the profit. They're looking to help the environment around them prosper. Whereas all of us in our, wherever we are, we think that we have it, it's finished, it's all about money, it's all about the money and how much profit and the shareholder and so on and so forth. So the journey is still there. But there you have it. And I know we're done, Robin. I know the time is up. We have so many things to talk about. So I'll hand over to you, but the chat is open, guys. Talk to us. Let's talk back to you. We'll be able to create a lot more within our chat groups, and we'll be able to share our information. But there's a lot of beautiful stories on the African continent. We can make this happen. We can make Africa the Africa we want it to be. We should stop complaining and start doing. That's the entrepreneurial mindset shift. And that's the journey. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Robin, over to you.
Thank you, Barbara. That was awesome. Guys, well done. We're so proud of you. And there was a question in the chat, where are the young women? Well, let me tell you, Barbara and the team and the young women that we've met through this platform that have participated in this incredible Ugandan phenomenon have been amazing. And one thing that I have to say is, I don't know if you're picking up here, I'm sure that you are, but the level of intelligent, articulate, focused, purpose-orientated, driven, work ethic related conversation that these young people bring to the playground and to the workspace and to our continent is mind-blowing. None of them are older than 25. Most of them are younger than 22. Where else in the world do you hear young people speaking like this? It is phenomenal. So guys, we're going to give you a chance to do some work now quickly, just for fun. And then we want to have a breakaway room and a chance for everybody to kind of process and think through some of what they've heard through this session so far, and think about what's possible in your own context. But what I want to say, please, 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 this platform is for you guys to connect. If something has inspired you here and you want to connect and you want to be in ongoing conversation, it's as simple as reaching out with your email address or phone number in the chat group to the person you've connected with, to the person you connect with in your group. Continue the conversations. Please, please, please. Magic happens in moments like these where we find each other. So please find each other in the group. So what we'd love to ask you now is, having heard all of that, And from the rich experience that many people on this call have with the concept of entrepreneurship, with entrepreneurial training, with their own endeavors, etc., we'd love to hear your thoughts. So we're going to run 2 quick polls. If you do not find the answers that you want in those polls, put what you think into the chat group the answer should be, because the one thing with a poll is it's predetermined by the person who set it up. So there's already a perception in place. So we would love to hear your thoughts. I'm going to open up a poll now. The first question on the poll is, what enables the development of entrepreneurial mindset? You can tick, I'm going to say 3, take the top 3. So obviously all of them are important. Choose what you feel the top 3 elements that enable the development of entrepreneurial mindset are. Are they tools? So tools to start practicing business development. Is it internet access and access to new learning and new thinking? Is it competitions? Things that sort of really get people excited about entering and starting this journey? Is it funding? Is it trust? Is it relationship and personal interaction? So I'll give you 30 seconds to put your input there. Glad to see that my personal favorite is coming out tops. And then the second question, as you've seen, is what are the biggest hurdles to overcome to create entrepreneurial mindset for Africa? Again, your top 3 choices, please. So for question 1, you can put 3 choices. For question 2, you can put 3. So the biggest hurdles to overcome, are they mindset and education, funding, networks, the political and external environment, or the supportive frameworks and models for entrepreneurship not being in place? And fantastic. We also have some answers coming in on the side chat there. So Sanjay, thank you. We need a culture change program. I love the way that the conversations in these dialogues really bring together so many of the critical elements. So community-based learning ecosystems, well-being, relationship and care, inspiration through feeling that you belong. Wonderful. Great. So we are going to end our polling here, and I'm hoping to be able to show you all what you've come up with. Okay. So most of you feel, I'm very happy to say, that relationship and personal interaction are really critical for the development of entrepreneurial mindset. And the biggest hurdles to overcome are mindset and education. So really interesting to see that. And I think, going back to this thing, it's not about, the tools are important, the facilitation is important, the opening of opportunities is important, but the courage to step in, that relates to mindset. And we develop the courage to step in because we feel personally supported as well. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to close there. What we'd love to do now, we've got some additional participants that have joined us. So I'm going to set up new chat rooms because we've got about 16, 17 new participants that have joined us since our last chat room. So please, when you go into your chat room, quick intro, who you are, and then the questions we'd love you to discuss include, let me go down to find it. All right. Yep. Okay. So the questions we'd love you to look at, and I'll post them in the chat group as well. What is your personal experience? So what resonated for you when you were listening to Barbara and the team, Barbara, Faith and Shuti, Mr. B, Samuel, Henry, when they were talking, Patricia? What resonated for you in terms of your personal experience of entrepreneurship? Have you yourself had an experience where you've either started a new business or thought about it and decided not to? And what were the things that inspired or prevented or empowered you to move into that journey? Then there are quite a few questions. You may not get to them all, but what are the opportunities that you see to support entrepreneurial mindset in every daily conversation that you have with young people? What opportunities for entrepreneurial endeavor do you see on the continent? What are the big things that need solving, that are just waiting, they're ripe for disruption through entrepreneurship? And what possible ways might there be to overcome the challenges facing your community and context around the development of entrepreneurial mindset and the offering of real opportunity to take up new and exciting and potential possibilities for entrepreneurship? All right, so we will open. I'm going to make the rooms of 3, because that'll give everybody a little bit more time to speak. And we will give you 20 minutes in conversation in order to discuss those questions, and I will post them again for you as well. Okay, wait a sec. Okay, so off you go to the breakaway rooms, and I hope that you all make it there. I will help anybody who doesn't manage to get into a new breakaway room. Sorry, I'm closing the breakaway rooms because I seem to have put people into a really big group in one of them. So I do apologize. I'm closing them again. But I can't. I have to wait the 60 seconds out. So my apologies, guys. Mm. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13.
Please help Lillian to get into one of the rooms, please.
I will, Lillian. Unfortunately, I'm actually going to recreate rooms because
Thank you. We can't meet to it. Sorry.
We were being returned.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Oh, there you are.
I think we were alone. I was alone in my room.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Something happened when the rooms were created. There was a massive room and then a couple of smaller ones. I'm going to recreate them. So
do it again.
Send you back again. Off you go, guys. Thanks so much. Okay, so the room should all be open. I'll wait and watch you joining, and anybody who needs help, I'll help you if you can't get through. Okay, Faith, can you see? You're supposed to be in room 2. And Samuel, you're supposed to be in room 2.
Yes, Robin, I was saying bye to Angela and Barbara.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Cool.
Yes. So we can start.
Mina, did you need a hand? Emelina? Emelina? Emelina, did you need a hand?
It looks like I'm out of my breakout room.
No, I don't know. We are both in room 1, but Emelina wanted a hand. So Crystal, I'm going to leave the room, maybe leave the room as well, and I'll put you into a different room when we get back. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Karima, I'll put you into a breakout room quickly. All right. Okay, Mr. Beast, I'm going to put you into...
Mr. Beast, let's do this together.
Okay. 4. Okay, guys, you are all
Yes, Robin.
all right. You all are showing as being in one or another room. Could you go down to the bottom of your screen where you see the little four squares that says breakout room? Please go look there and
Yes.
see if there's an invitation to join a room there. Otherwise, I'll move you manually.
Hi, Robin. Can you move me to another room, please?
Sure. Where are you?
I was in room 13, but there's no one communicating with.
Oh, okay. That's very strange. All right, I'll move you to room 12.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay.
Robin, I'm not in a group. Okay.
Okay, Faith, I'll look for you and move you.
Same here. I was in room 9, but it's all quiet there.
Okay, is it? Okay, let me go. What's your name? I can't, you under a cover somewhere. It's just Sheila. Is it Sheila?
Sheila.
Okay, let me look for room
Yes.
9. Ah, they're not joined. Okay, Sheila, I will move you elsewhere. Room 13, and then Lillian, I'll move also. Okay, Anne, where are you supposed to be? Sheila, you should have an invitation to join room 13. Uchenna, I see you back with us.
Yeah, Robin, I was returned to the main station automatically. Please return me back, please.
Okay, I'll put you, you should be in room 11. I'll put you back. And then I'm just going to,
Okay.
I'm putting you back into room 11 now. Okay. Felix? Felix, you are supposed to be in room 14. Can you get there? Okay. Who else is battling? Musimakwele? Musimakwele? Okay. You can...
Yes, please, Robin.
Hi, I'm going to move you to room 11.
Yes.
Okay, because the room 9 is now empty and you haven't still joined us. So I'll move you to room 11. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Felix, are you looking for somewhere to join? Okay.
There's John. He just joined us now.
Yes, I've just want to quickly. I just want to quickly post this. I did put him into another room. Thanks, Aileen. Let me just broadcast a message to all. Uchenna, are you still battling? Uchenna? Okay. Okay. All right. Where are you? Where are you now? Okay. For some reason, I can't see you, Uchenna, in the waiting room here. Let me find you where you are. Okay. I'll move you to room 12. Great. Okay, let's try. Okay. I've moved you to room 12. I hope the invite is coming through. Just go down to the little box, the breakout room box in the bottom corner of the Zoom link, and you should see it there.
Inspiring statements, Sasas. Probably Joyce. Yes, Joyce, go ahead.
I think the one thing that came in our group is the fact that teachers are teaching what they know. They don't have this mindset themselves. So also our expectations of them to do that need to be accompanied by support to teachers to be able to do what, because everybody blames them and they're not doing their job, but they have never learned how to do this. How do they reinvent themselves? And all they need is to open up the space for the young people. The young people actually, once you open their minds and they are seeing things even when they are not saying them. So how do we make the school a creation place? In my opinion, the school is the last colony. We have completely refused to change the mindset, and we are expecting different results from school. School can't deliver what it is not. So how do we bring this change to teachers and set our children free? They have shown us here they can do the job. We are the ones getting in the way. Like what needs to be done to move from that thing? The school is the most unreformed institution and remains so traditional it hurts even to be there. You are seeing things you saw 40 years ago. So in a new setup, the world has changed. The school has not moved in most cases. Thank you.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah. Atieno. You can unmute yourself. Okay, Atieno probably not hearing us, or yes, Sanjay.
I think Atieno and I were in the same group, so hopefully I'll cover what she wanted to say, and maybe she can also come in. I think we had a couple of conversations, they were very brief. The one was, I think we all agreed that the program that was shared, that Barbara and team are driving, the NSC program, is actually quite phenomenal. So, I mean, that's the first part. The second conversation we had was just, there seems to be this divide, do I get a job? Do I become an entrepreneur? And I think we all agree that there should not be a divide. What's wrong with doing both? What's wrong with having a job and having a side hustle? Or what's wrong with having, and what's wrong with being an entrepreneur and having a stable job? It just, I think too often we put our young kids, our young generation with this thing of either or. It should not be. There is no right or wrong. It can be both, or it could be the two in another combination. I think that's the one thing. The second, actually, then a conversation that we had was just, the role of the parents and the role in this entire thing. You could go about and you can bring about all the change in the education systems that you want. But at the end of the day, that society's got to change. You've also, as a parent, you've got to change. You've got to bring about those changes to enable that. Because, it's, your child will only do that which you as a parent or as an adult enable them to do, encourage them to do, and open their minds to do. So, it's one thing tackling, but you also need to tackle. So I hope that sort of helps in terms of some of the thinking around it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Sanjay again. We have another Sanjay raising hand.
Yes, thank you. So we in our group, we talk about, one of my colleagues said, we can teach students about entrepreneurship, but it is more theory. And then a lot of them, they just keep the knowledge and they don't do anything with that. So I said, why don't we just try to bring it more practice-based? And my colleague said, the problem is with government authorities sometimes at university, they tell you what to teach and you can't move the assessment, you can't change the syllabus, and it's a problem. So we perhaps need to talk about how can we do a bit of lobbying with the government, or not policy-wise, how we can influence government to bring on more practice-based entrepreneurship or social entrepreneurship rather than doing an entrepreneurship course where you just get a credit, where you pass the exams and you wait to get a certificate to get a job. So that is one. Second, we talk about funding, and funding seems to be an issue with Mr. Bees, and he told me about that. And I said, there's a lot of competition worldwide where you have funding, and there's one at MIT, which I know, Solvex. So perhaps at some point in time, some of us educators will need to bring up a page where a website, a repository, where all the competition and the funding that are possible worldwide are listed for us Africans, for us to know where can we pitch our ideas and where we can get funding and where we can get mentoring and where we can get some kind of assistance. And I also reflected, now that we're talking about technology and fintech and that is perhaps also we need to think, do we want to go into agriculture, or do we want to see if there's problem is funding perhaps in our country? Maybe there's an opportunity for trying to eliminate the bank in some way, like trying to create IT platforms where you link those who have excess savings to those who need them, So we may be needing to see also on the continent, perhaps here maybe something like democratizing finance is a way forward. There is a lot of scope for entrepreneurship there as well. So rather than looking only at agriculture, perhaps we also need to look at this a new wave of fintech, how we can leverage on PF lending and crowd lending and things like that. Okay, I think that was what we said in our group.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll move on to the next, who is probably Barbara, Barbara's team. Someone wanted to say something, and then we'll move on to Andrew, and then we go on to Angelina if she wants to share things with us. So Barbara, is there anyone on your side who is willing to share anything with us?
And Andrew will take care of our team, but I'm moving over to Faith. I think she
yes. In our group, what stood out most is what Karima mentioned, because all of us here have the same light. Yes. So how do we find a middle ground where we can sync? Because it's just the lamps that are different, but we have the same light. And I remember I love physics. I'm a physics teacher, and she mentioned about the Newton's third law of physics, body remains in a state of motion until it's acted upon by an external force. Now, we are the resistance. We are that resistance. Even when Joyce was talking about teachers reinventing themselves, we are that resistance movement. We are that external force that is going to disrupt the education system, all the other sectors that are affiliated to the education system, and which is almost all sectors. So I think, to me, that was a takeaway for me, that all of us have the same light. Even that's why we are here now. Yeah. But the lamps are different. So how do we work together? How do we synchronize? How do we find a middle ground for this?
Yeah. Angelina.
Thank you, Abdulaziz. Thank you. We have shared a lot in our team. However, I would like to summarize what we said only in 2 sentences. First and foremost is that when learners learn what they love, they'll be able to understand it faster. Second is that when people learn what they can apply in life, then the impact is forever. So if they specialize early, that will be good for us as the continent, other than learning something which you may never apply in life.
Exactly. Thank you. Andrew.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
It's
Andrew Bugimbi. And then we can go back to you, Andrew, if you want to share anything.
Okay. Thank you so much. Sorry, Andrew. After me. Well, thank you, Barbara and team, for the wonderful work you're doing. I think what we discussed in our group was that we need to be mindful of the fact that we don't misinterpret an entrepreneurship mindset to mean people who do business. And I've seen Robin making a statement on that. I think even when someone is an engineer, entrepreneurship mindset means, can you be a productive engineer in that field? Can you be an engineer who solves problems, not an engineer who waits for the boss, who waits for the government to solve problems? So as far as entrepreneurship mindset is concerned, I think it's important that we direct our young people to think of it as a problem-solving tool, as a mindset that looks at being your own boss, looks at not waiting for a boss somewhere to come and open up or solve your problems, but for you to be able to be productive in your workplace. Those are some of the things we discussed. Thank you.
Andrew.
Thank you so much, Abdulaziz. I'm happy with the kind of ideas which are coming out of this chat. Brilliant ideas. I was lucky to be in the same group with Barbara and Samuel. And I mean, the ideas are fantastic. They are phenomenal. And what came to my mind and what resonated very well.
Probably Joyce. Yes, Joyce, go ahead.
I think the one thing that came in our group is the fact that teachers are teaching what they know. They don't have this mindset themselves. So also our expectations of them to do that need to be accompanied by support to teachers to be able to do what, because everybody blames them and they are not doing their job, but they have never learned how to do this. How do they reinvent themselves? And all they need is to open up the space for the young people. The young people actually, once you open their minds and they are seeing things even when they are not saying them. So how do we make the school a creation place? In my opinion, the school is the last colony. We have completely refused to change the mindset, and we are expecting different results from school. School can't deliver what it is not. So how do we bring this change to teachers and set our children free? They have shown us here they can do the job. We are the ones getting in the way. Like what needs to be done to move from that thing? The school is the most unreformed institution and remains so traditional, it hurts even to be there. You are seeing things you saw 40 years ago. So in a new setup, the world has changed. The school has not moved in most cases. Thank you.
Yeah, Well, yes, yeah. Atieno. You can unmute yourself. Okay, Atieno probably not hearing us, or yes, Sanjay.
I think Atieno and I were in the same group, so hopefully I'll cover what she wanted to say, and maybe she can also come in. I think we had a couple of conversations, though very brief. The one was, I think we all agree that the program that was shared, that Barbara and team are driving, the NSC program, is actually quite phenomenal. So, I mean, that's the first part. The second conversation we had was just, there seems to be this divide, do I get a job? Do I become an entrepreneur? And I think we all agreed that there should not be a divide. What's wrong with doing both? What's wrong with having a job and having a side hustle? Or what's wrong with having, and what's wrong with being an entrepreneur and having a stable job? It just, I think too often we put our young kids, our young generation with this thing of either or. It should not be. There is no right or wrong. It can be both, or it could be the two in another combination. I think that's the one thing. The second, actually, then a conversation that we had was just, the role of the parents and the role in this entire thing. You could go about and you can bring about all the change in the education systems that you want. But at the end of the day, that society's got to change. You've also, as a parent, you've got to change. You've got to bring about those changes to enable that. Because, it's, your child will only do that which you as a parent or as an adult enable them to do, encourage them to do, and open their minds to do. So, it's one thing tackling, but you also need to tackle. So I hope that sort of helps in terms of some of the thinking around it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Sanjay again. We have another Sanjay raising hand.
Yes, thank you. So we in our group we talk about one of my colleagues said we can teach students about entrepreneurship, but it is more theory, and then a lot of them they just keep the knowledge and they don't do anything with that. So I said, why don't we just try to bring it more practice-based? And my colleague said, the problem is with government authorities sometimes at university, they tell you what to teach and you can't move the assessment, you can't change the syllabus, and it's a problem. So we perhaps need to talk about how can we do a bit of lobbying with the government, or not policy-wise, how we can influence government to bring on more practice-based entrepreneurship or social entrepreneurship rather than doing an entrepreneurship course where you just get a credit, where you pass the exams and you wait to get a certificate to get a job. So that is one. Second, we talk about funding, and funding seems to be an issue with Mr. Bees, and he told me about that. And I said, there's a lot of competition worldwide where you have funding, and there's one at MIT, which I know, Solvex. So perhaps at some point in time, some of us educators will need to bring up a page where a website, a repository, where all the competition and the funding that are possible worldwide are listed mainly for us Africans, for us to know where can we pitch our ideas and where we can get funding and where we can get mentoring and where we can get some kind of assistance. And I also reflected, now that we're talking about technology and fintech and that is perhaps also we need to think, do we want to go into agriculture, or do we want to see if there's problem is funding perhaps in our country? Maybe there's an opportunity for trying to eliminate the bank in some way, like trying to create IT platforms where you link those who have excess savings to those who need them, So we may be needing to see also on the continent, perhaps here maybe something like democratizing finance is a way forward. There is a lot of scope for entrepreneurship there as well. So rather than looking only at agriculture, perhaps we also need to look at this new a new wave of fintech. How we can leverage on PF lending and crowd lending and things like that. Okay, I think that was what we said in our group.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll move on to the next, who is probably Barbara's team. Someone wanted to say something, and then we'll move on to Andrew and Then we go on to Angelina if she wants to share things with us. So Barbara, is there anyone on your part, on your side, who is willing to share anything with us?
And Andrew will take care of our team, but I'm moving over to Faith. I think
yes. In our group, what stood out most is what Karima mentioned, because all of us here have the same light. Yes. So how do we find a middle ground where we can sync? Because it's just the lamps that are different, but we have the same light. And I remember I love physics. I'm a physics teacher, and she mentioned about the Newton's third law of physics. Body remains in a state of motion until it's acted upon by an external force. Now, we are the resistance. We are that resistance. Even when Joyce was talking about teachers reinventing themselves, we are that resistance movement. We are that external force that is going to disrupt the education system, all the other sectors that are affiliated to the education system, and which is almost all sectors. So I think, to me, that was a takeaway for me, that all of us have the same light. Even that's why we are here now. Yeah. But the lamps are different. So how do we work together? How do we synchronize? How do we find a middle ground for this?
Yeah. Angelina.
Thank you, Abdulaziz. Thank you. We have shared a lot in our team. However, I would like to summarize what we said only in 2 sentences. First and foremost is that when learners learn what they love, they'll be able to understand it faster. Second is that when people learn what they can apply in life, then the impact is forever. So if they specialize early, that will be good for us as the continent, other than learning something which you may never apply in life.
Exactly. Thank you. Andrew.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
It's Andrew.
It's Andrew Bugimbi, and then we can go back to you, Andrew, if you want to share anything.
Okay. Thank you so much. Sorry, Andrew. After me. Well, thank you, Barbara and team, for the wonderful work you're doing. I think what we discussed in our group was that we need to be mindful of the fact that we don't misinterpret an entrepreneurship mindset to mean people who do business. And I've seen Robin making a statement on that. I think even when someone is an engineer, entrepreneurship mindset means, can you be a productive engineer in that field? Can you be an engineer who solves problems, not an engineer who waits for the boss, who waits for the government to solve problems? So as far as entrepreneurship mindset is concerned, I think it's important that we direct our young people to think of it as a problem-solving tool, as a mindset that looks at being your own boss, looks at not waiting for a boss somewhere to come and open up or solve your problems, but for you to be able to be productive in your workplace. Those are some of the things we discussed. Thank you.
Andrew.
Thank you so much, Abdulaziz. I'm happy with the kind of ideas which are coming out of this chat, brilliant ideas. I was lucky to be in the same group with Barbara and Samuel. And I mean, the ideas are fantastic. They are phenomenal. And what came to my mind and what resonated very well from the start of this session is about the change of mindset, the change of values, change of beliefs, and change of attitude. Because if we don't change our perception, if we don't overcome our fears, then we can never overcome the fears which are outside us. So it has to start from us. It has to start from changing of the values. It has to start with the changing of beliefs and also change of attitude. That's the first thing. The moment you overcome our fears, the moment you overcome our self-doubt, then we shall be ready to overcome even challenges which are outside there. And I remember Barbara came up also with a very strong point on the curriculum which is offered in their country. And I remember I shared with her some of implementation of the competence-based curriculum in Kenya. And I mean, we connected very well. And we said at one point she can even come to Kenya and see what is it that is being done in Kenyan curriculum. Probably she can even visit the Department of Education, the Ministry of Education, and learn ideas, learn on how Kenya is implementing the new curriculum. Because we learn from each other, we learn from the collaborative aspect. So to me, it was a phenomenal session, and it has been a phenomenal session since we started since we started the session. So I mean, it is wonderful. It's fantastic. Back to you, Aziz.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. And I also wanted to share something about it, if you don't mind. It's just because we talked about teaching, and I guess it's because of this limited definition we have of teaching and learning. That's why we are stuck within the walls of the schools, you know. And if we think of the people, those young people who are with Barbara today, if we think of them connecting to the schools, going back to the schools and talking to those young people, because they are the ones who are able to at least share some of the predicaments they have been through and some of the skills that they have learned. And because of we talk about entrepreneurial mindset, what it is about, of course, is that we don't just want people to be entrepreneurs and to start their own businesses, but we want them to learn a lot of things. So many of the 21st century skills that we talk about today are skills that people go through and learn when they undergo a set of risks and challenges and predicaments trying to set a business. So they learn skills, they learn the mindset. This mindset is learned only through going through those challenges and predicaments and obstacles and trying to overcome those barriers. So that's how we learn. So it's a learning, let's say, a life learning skill, if we want. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And Abdulaziz, let me thank you. I would like we would, as Africa Voices Dialogue, the umbrella body now, we would like to invite. We would like to support the development of interest groups growing out of Africa Voices Dialogue. Yeah. When we send our follow-up mail to this event, we will invite you to indicate if you would like to join one of these dialogue sessions. Because I mean, we are working as a team, and they say no one is as perfect as all of us. Very brilliant ideas have been raised, fantastic ideas, and we can speak very well. But unless we put them to action, they will remain just ideas. We have to action. We have to put them into action.
Andrew, as Robin said earlier, and as Robin wrote earlier in the chat room, we have been thinking for quite some time now to start mentoring programs for young people in Africa. So we have already talked to Barbara about it too. So we are inviting everyone who want to join us in this endeavor. Because we are going to throw workshops mentoring young people in Africa in different domains, not just in entrepreneurship, but in different domains through Africa Voices Dialogue. Yeah. So that's one of the things we would like to do.
Absolutely.
Probably go back to Murad very briefly.
Yeah, and also I will add something. When we work, teacher can have some training in some companies, so that it will be wonderful. I will talk about my experience because I worked for 5 years or 6 years in computer science and management. When you go to teaching, you have another mindset, because we don't need just a theoretical, but we need to practice and have something learning by doing. So when you start to talk with the student, you have some background, and also I hope that there are some collaboration between companies and the teacher, because some companies can bring their knowledge for the teacher and student. And in this case, they can learn more. And also, I recommend and I believe if we can to have some training for students in high school or middle school in companies, they can open their eyes to world of companies and entrepreneurship.
Thank you, Murad. So we'll go back to Robin.
Thank you, Andrew. Thanks, Aziz. So I think that you know, exactly as Andrew was saying, we really feel there's been a lot of requests. Can we have interest groups? So the one aspect of this is we will send an invitation with our follow-up mail to invite you to indicate if you'd like to participate in an interest group, and we'll then coordinate probably via WhatsApp, because you know, low tech is actually the best, I think, for our context. So probably kind of set up a number of WhatsApp groups following those interest groups. You're also welcome to suggest an additional one if you feel there's something that's not covered. And then we really would also like to invite those of you who are keen to consider joining us in just an early nascent mentorship program. There are some incredible human beings on this call. And I personally would like to be mentored by Mr. Beast. So, you know, I think this is a two-way game. That it's not about adults. It's about relationships. So we can call it mentorships, or we can call it reciprocal mentorship, or we can call it reverse, whatever we like. But set up relational.
Robin, in Africa Voices Dialogue, it's always reciprocal. You know this.
It's highly reciprocal.
Yeah, we're not teaching anything here. We're just learning from each other. We're just growing together. You know, as you said, it is reciprocal every time. Even in the mentorship program, it's going to be reciprocal for sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. So we've come very sadly.
Before we take over, I would like to thank all the Barbara team, all Uganda team. I would like to thank them so much for the spirit they have brought in, because it is amazing and exciting. I felt it from the beginning, you know, when we were preparing for the session this week, and the meetings we've had with them, I felt that it would be something special. So you really made it a special session for all of us in Africa Voices Dialogue. We love you so much, and keep it up. Keep it up. Thanks to all our friends who are present today. Thank you so much.
And we like to continue with our discussion. This is not the end, but the discussion will continue. So Barbara team and all the participants of today's session, the discussion will continue even after this. So we really, really appreciate all of you.
Absolutely. So guys, just a vote of thanks to all of you, because all of you are who makes this amazing space possible and wonderful. We love it. Every time we have a session, we just regret that it's so short, and regret that it's so long till the next time. But we really are loving this thread of continuity and this building conversation that we've had. So thank you for joining us. Thank you to the people who are new to this dialogue. We hope that you will return and become part of this vibrant, awesome, phenomenal cross-continental and extra-continental community. So just to share with you, our next dialogue, well, it's not actually a dialogue, it's a workshop. Our next workshop is very much in the same spirit of this 21st century thinking and listening, thinking skills, entrepreneurial mindset. How do we start this young, and carry it all the way through? I'm going to give Michal 60 seconds to talk about the workshop. And as I said, it'll take place same time, Saturday evening, 12th of June. Michal, would you like to give us a little overview?
So hello, I would like to invite you for this, I hope, interesting workshop. I would like to share with my team of Karima, Fatima Zara, Maria Pomianowska, experiences we had during our project we call Inventors Playground. And also we will share a lot of more experiences working with creative play-based learning. So you can learn, but also you, I think, could share also a lot what you have inside yourself. So we try to empower and to make available what you have as the best inside you during this workshop. So we will share our techniques, and I hope it's going to be also a very nice time.
fantastic. We've had the pleasure of working with Karima and Michal and many of his team. We've got representatives from, so Michal is from Poland, and he works very closely with teachers from across the continent of Africa, including Morocco, Nigeria, and also, a number of other spots.
Because today we have Uganda as a host, but also I would like to share that we work with Uganda, with Cotido, and with great children and great people, great teachers from Cotido area, which is a rural area, but I really fall in love with this area, and when it's possible, will be possible to travel, I want to go to Uganda and discover the beauty of this marvelous country.
My God, that's impressive. That's actually really impressive. We have to chat after this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly. So we one day in 5 years' time, this is what we're going to do. Okay, there are 54 countries on. Oh no, there are many countries on the continent, and what we are going to do is we're going to organize a trip where we're going to go to each one of them, and we're all going to tour the continent and see firsthand these beautiful people and this beautiful continent of ours. So with that, everybody, thank you for joining us. You are welcome to, in fact, please do put your videos on, and you can unmute, and we can all say cheers to each other, and we'll play out with the wonderful music from Andasanga. So, pop on. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Cheers.
House of Dream. Get up now, you, and don't let it take you down. Get up now, you, and don't let it take you down. Yeah, don't let it take you down. Get up now, you, and don't let it take you down.
Rock, everybody. What to say? Happy Eve.
Bye, everyone. When I tell you I'm missing again, I am a shima like a hima. Oh yeah, don't let it break you down. Yeah, I tell me beat them. The enemy me walk like a boss. Oh yeah. Beat them, pose. Right to the enemy me walk like a boss. Get up now, you, and don't let it take you down. Get up now, you, and don't let it take you down. Yeah, don't let it take you down. Get up now, you. Say don't let it take you down. Like a tree by the river. And I drink up and live. Some me go for the